Welcome, one and all, to another edition of the Defo Show with Lubie right here on the 5 Reasons Sports Network, brought to you in part by the amazing people at Water Cleanup of Florida. Yes, you hear amazing and water cleanup. That's a weird connection, but here's the deal. We all have issues with our home. Look, I'm a somewhat new homeowner the last 3 years or so, and you want to build equity. You want to own a home. Yeah, but with owning a home comes issues, right? Instead of going to a landlord, going to someone else to fix them, you have to fix them. So the scary part is knowing who to go to. But if you know who to go to, then it's not scary at all. If you have any water, fire, mold issues, take a deep breath and exhale, because Water Cleanup of Florida will take care of all of it. They will not only will find the issues, but they will fix it. And you can reach them 24 hours a day. With over 60 years of combined experience between Michael, Robert, and their team, Water Cleanup of Florida will make sure any disastrous damage is not a disaster. It's nice and easy. Just give them a call. Again, 24 hours, 7 days a week, 954-579-0356, 954-579-0356. You can mention 5 Reasons or Lubie, and you'll receive a free inspection during business hours. You can also reach them on their website, wcufl.com. WCUFL.com, and also Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, Water Cleanup FL. Water Cleanup of Florida. We clean up your schmutz. It's been very schmutzy around the Panthers the last 2 decades. We enjoy every conversation with Jessica Blaylock of Bally Sports Florida, but through the years, it's been tough for her because she's making gold out of Well, this year she hasn't had to do that. The Florida Panthers are the toast of the NHL scene. Plus, the Miami Marlins, the other team she works with for Bally Sports Florida, have a lot of excitement going into this season. They have one of the best rotations in all of baseball. They've spent some money on the lineup. And yeah, a 1-4 start is not great, but outside of one game, every game has been one run, be it win or lose. So they've been competitive, and they're a team that is on the ascend. So today, we're very excited to talk to Bally Sports Florida's own Jessica Blaylock on the Devo Show with Lubie right here on the 5 Reasons Sports Network.
Jeff DeForest, Mike Lubie Lubitz with you. The Defo Show here on ION Channel. And do we have Jessica with us, Mike Lubie Lubitz? Oh, yeah, ready to go? Okay, very good. We welcome to the program one of our favorites. And, I love someone who, is adventurous and in this case, from a ballpark standpoint, has a little Anthony Bourdain in her. And then on top of that, does an outstanding job. I mean, just brilliant analysis on both the Major League Baseball team she covers here for Bally Sports Florida, the Miami Marlins. And then, I mean, it's tough to know hockey, isn't it, Lubie, also?
Are you kidding me?
And be an expert on that? I mean, the coaches were always implying when the Panthers first came into existence, yeah, you guys don't know what's going on. I mean, we could tell you all kinds of things. And they didn't really have that many reasons to make excuses because the Panthers actually, as an expansion franchise, were pretty fantastic. I mean, near 500 a couple of years in a row, and then they go to the Stanley Cup final their 3rd year. But all over this fantastic Panther season is the lovely Jessica Blaylock, who joins us now here on the Defo Show. Jessica, how are you? And good to have you on the program. Thanks for joining us.
I am great. Thank you so much for having me on. I always love coming on with you guys because you always give me the best introduction that makes me feel so good. So I always appreciate that. It's the perfect way to start my day by joining you guys.
Well, we appreciate that too, but it's well-deserved. I mean, literally among our favorites in terms of the job that you do and the various roles that you are involved in on TV and with 2 very diverse types of sports here. So let's get into the baseball because I believe in conspiracy theories, and I don't know. What is it? Is it because Jeter left? Why do the umpires have it in for the Miami Marlins so far? I mean, it seems like...
I have no idea. Too horribly, I mean, not even borderline pitches, right?
Yeah.
Like, horribly missed calls. The one to Eliezer Hernandez, of course, and then the next hitter, he gives up the 3-run home run, and I'm sure some frustration had to do with that. And then the 9th inning, another critical call that puts the runner on, and then the Marlins don't get the replay in their favor, and that changes the whole complexion of the inning. And it's very frustrating, and I don't understand. I get that you can miss borderline pitches, right? I don't get how you can miss so badly balls that are completely within the strike zone. But either way, at the end of the day, you know, if you talk to any of those players, if you talk to Eliezer, if you talk to Bender, if you talk to Donnie, they're all going to tell you you can't make excuses. You know, umpires are going to miss calls, replays are going to be missed. So you just have to find a way to kind of rise above that. So, you know, unfortunately, it's tough to see a couple of bad breaks for the Marlins early on. And ones that definitely, you know, in my opinion, did have an impact on the way games played out.
Oh, my God. Poor Don Mattingly is going to have a stroke. I mean, we have a sponsor, Catholic Health Services, and they are very expert in dealing with that sort of thing. But, you know, and he's not the kind of guy to go Meshuggah. He gets tossed out as he should. I mean, you had to get yourself tossed out. You didn't need to be Billy Martin, you know, on those bizarre non-strike calls. I was thinking, holy Angel Hernandez, who the hell is behind the plate here? Get me Lee Wire on the phone. And then the other one was insane because, I mean, it's not like you needed the Zapruder film to see that this guy didn't have a foot or a hand on the base, even though he initially, you know, obviously appeared to be safe, but he slides slightly past the base and the tag is on him and his foot's off the bag. And, I mean, Don Mattingly was stunned. He started speaking in Hebrew, I think, to the umpire after that call.
Yeah, I think if you read his lips from the dugout, he basically said, why do we even have replay?
Exactly.
You know, and I agree. If you can't get it right, then what is the point of replay? And this is not the first time that, you know, there were several times last season where it seemed very obvious what the call was supposed to be and that it should have been overturned in favor of the Marlins, and the call did not go their way. And I just don't get it. You know, I don't want to be that person that says certain teams in the league are favored and certain teams are not. But it just seems to me sometimes the Marlins never catch a break. And even in hockey, with how good the Panthers have been, you know, there have been multiple games that have happened over the past few weeks where there are blatant calls that are right in front of officials that, you know, do not get called. And I don't get it. I really don't get it. You know, you want to see things done right. I'm with Don Mattingly. It's the whole purpose of replay is to get things right. And when you're still missing that badly, you know, it's frustrating.
Talking with Jessica Blaylock, Bally Sports Florida. Hit her up on Twitter at Jess Blaylock. As Defo said, she's not only, he doesn't really do Twitter, she's tremendous on Twitter, not only with her sports takes, but she dances, she sings, she does it all. The one and only Jessica Blaylock. Again, at Jess Blaylock on Twitter. Well, and what's interesting about this is today's the home opener. We're excited for that. The West Coast swing did not go, of course, as planned. But again, the pitching has been phenomenal. I mean, even Luzardo went out there 12 Ks. Like, the pitching's doing its job. The bullpen could be better. And we've seen Chisholm. We've seen Sanchez, the young bats, start to come around. What is the morale like of this club? Because it's still early enough where, of course, you can do plenty of different directions. But it seems like this team at least has kept not only spirits up, but there's a lot of excitement around this season.
Yeah, and I still think there is. You know, I think there was a lot of momentum heading into the start of the season, especially after spring training, you know, seeing guys who threw the ball well, like Jesus Luzardo, you know, had a fantastic spring. Seeing what guys like Soler and Abisail Garcia and Wendell and Jacob Stallings were going to add to your lineup. And, you know, obviously a tough start in your first 5-game road trip to finish 1-4. And really, you know, every single game, with maybe the exception of, you know, the first game against the Angels, other than that, every single game could have easily gone the Marlins' way, you know, for 1-run ball games. So, you know, unfortunately, it's the difference of being at 1-4 versus maybe, you know, having a winning record on that road trip. But I think you're encouraged that you saw really competitive baseball. And I think the one thing that you do know is, yes, your pitching is always going to keep you in the game. You know, whether it's Sandy, whether it's Paulo, whether it's Trevor, whether it's Eliezer, Jesus, Luzardo coming off of that career-high 12 strikeouts. But now you just need your bats to kind of catch up with your pitching. And, you know, and that's surprising to see maybe a slow start to the offense. And I think you're going to see that with, you know, you already have kind of seen that with multiple ball clubs around the league. who are still looking to hit their stride offensively, having a short spring training. So, I think once you see the Solaires really catch fire and start going, once you see Avisail Garcia get back into the lineup and maybe get a few hits, you're already seeing Jazz swing a pretty good bat. Jesus Sanchez, like you mentioned, the 2 home run night the other night, tapping early into his power and his potential. So, what the cliche is, hitting is contagious, hits come in bunches. So I think it's just going to take maybe a few guys in this lineup getting going for the rest of the team to kind of feed off of that. And once you get the bats going on top of what is a stellar starting staff for the Marlins, they're going to get going in the right direction.
Phillies in town for the home opener for the Marlins. That takes place today. Jessica Blaylock, and you can. I would imagine you're going to be part of this broadcast today. No, Jessica. When are we going to see you on Bally Sports Florida?
I'm on hockey this weekend.
Oh yeah, okay.
For the next couple weeks, I go from hockey to baseball, back to hockey, back to baseball, back to hockey, back to baseball, and then back to hockey. So it's going to be a fun couple of weeks back and forth. So I'm heading to Panthers practice this morning, and I'll be focused on that matchup between the Panthers and the Jets. But I'll certainly be tuning in. Kelly Sacco will be on the sidelines. The usual characters, Craig Minervini, how they're still letting him into the ballpark. I'm not 100% sure, but.
Minnie's a mystery. He really is.
You don't get it.
Now, did you ever see him injecting Botox or any kind of facial filler to have? I mean, he and Ryan Seacrest are 2 guys that never age.
I know. I think I've caught a glimpse of maybe the box of Just for Ben in his bag, but can't officially confirm the Botox yet. He probably keeps that on the down low. But no, we love Minervini. Minervini's the best.
Now, is our man Tommy Hutton still involved with the broadcast? We hope so, certainly.
Yes.
He is. Oh, great.
Yeah, and Tommy's going to be in the booth for a good amount of games, serving, again, not just as pre- and post-game analyst, but back in the booth as a game analyst, which we certainly love. Tommy is the best. So we're so lucky to have such a great crew, really on both sports, with hockey, Jeff Chikrin and Ed Jovanovski, Goldie and Randy, Katie, and then with baseball, we brought in Rod Allen this year, who I just got to work the Angel series with, and he was great. And of course, Gabby and JP and Tommy, and so it's so much fun to cover both sports, not just because the teams are so good to us, but just the crews we get to work with are fantastic.
After winning the MVP last year with the Phillies in town, is it unfair to continue to pose the question, which is more overrated, Bryce Harper or the Stone Crab?
He's won 2 MVPs.
You know what? I know. I got to give credit to Bryce Harper because honestly, he, after maybe, getting off to a little bit of a slower start with the Phillies, he really has carried that team for a while and had a tremendous season last year. And it's crazy to think with that lineup that the Phillies have not made the playoffs. And I love that the Marlins have essentially had something to do with that. The Marlins have actually finished above 500. I think maybe last year they split the series evenly, but before that, they finished above 500 for the past 4 or 5 years against the Phillies. So I like to kind of relish the fact that one of the reasons the Phillies have continually missed the postseason, especially since acquiring Bryce Harper, is due to the Marlins. That just gives me a little bit of joy. So hopefully they can get off to a good start tonight against the Phillies. And yes, especially with the reigning NL MVP Bryce Harper in town.
Last few things here with the one and only Jessica Blaylock of Bally Sports Florida. Marlins and Panthers. Marlins home opener today against the Phillies. The Panthers continue to be hot. Huge win the other day against the Ducks, and we'll be taking on the Jets. Follow her up on Twitter at Just Blaylock. Okay, so we've talked to you a lot over the years, and you're always positive, and we're always finding the good and the bad. This year, you can't find the bad. And even when there were issues early on, this ball club, Burnett came in, and it just woof, kept going and going and going. Even a 4-game skid didn't slow this team down, and now they are tied with the Avalanche for the number 1 point total in all of the NHL. How has the season been? You've been here during a lot of the struggles. Well, they're young. They're going to get there. That's not the case anymore. They are just dominating teams everywhere on the ice. How has it been to be around this team and to be covering this team during this season?
This has been, I genuinely mean this from the bottom of my heart. This has been one of the most fun sports seasons I've ever covered in my entire career. And I think a big part of it is, just being able to be around the guys again and being able to travel with the team again, because, the COVID seasons were really difficult. Not being able to connect with players, having to talk to them through a computer screen, not being able to build relationships. That was really, really tough. So I think a big reason why I'm just having so much fun on top of the success that the Panthers have had is it's been such a joy to be back around these players. And this is such an incredible group of guys. I could literally go around that Panthers dressing room and tell you why I love every single player. And it's not just the Barkovs and the Hubertos and the Ekblads that I've been around for 7 years. It's, Patrick Hornquist, I would literally follow Patrick Hornquist into battle. Like, Patrick Hornquist makes me want to be a better person in life in general. He is just amazing. Joe Thornton, who came in and wanted to be here and knew the potential that this team had. And he is just the coolest guy you'll ever be around. And Anton Lundell, who to me is, a baby Barkov and just reminds me so much of why I love Barky, and his personality. I mean, you could literally, Mackenzie Weegar, one of the greatest human beings you will ever meet, not just as far as athletes go, just in general. It's a special group, and I literally cannot put into words just what a joy it is to be around each one of them. And it's just so much fun to watch them compete and to see guys like Anthony Duclair and Sam Bennett, and so on, just find homes here and love being here so much. So it's been awesome. It really has. And this is going to be one of the seasons that I look back on and say, man, I'm so lucky I got to cover that team at that point, in their existence.
Perfect segue into our closing thoughts on this whole thing. And we appreciate you coming on. I know you have a job to do later on today, tracking down the Panthers at practice. The lovely Jessica Blaylock of Bally Sports Florida with us here on the Defo Show. All right. And it's great, too, about Joe Thornton. You mentioned him. I saw him when he was playing with Bobby Hull when he broke into the league. It was just absolutely
Brett,
fantastic. This guy's been there forever, man. And he's been growing a beard ever since. All right. I don't know if you know the irascible reporter Mike Mayo. He was a sports writer here for many years. A very talented sports columnist. And then he went on the city desk and, he was tackling all of these political issues and social issues. And then he became the food critic, a nice parlay. Right, if you're going to be in the media, Jessica. And, you've done a little of this yourself, so there's something relatable there. So, he's given us this baloney that, the Panthers, they have to prove it to me that they're going to get out of the first round of the playoffs. They haven't done it since, obviously, they went to the Stanley Cup final, 96, 97. It's a long time ago. Haven't been to the playoffs that many times. And yet, the way this team performed all season long, having viewed sports my whole life. Now, I found every way to lose as a gambler. So obviously, anything is possible, no matter how Secretariat lost a race, right? How could they possibly? We're going to Anthony's Runway 84. I'm sure you're familiar with this place, an iconic restaurant. Mayo's picking up the check. We want to invite you.
You're invited, obviously.
If especially you're of the belief, like we are, that this is almost inconceivable that they wouldn't get out of the first round, no matter what kind of argument you can make about Ovechkin and the Penguins and Crosby and Malkin and all of the other conversations that are coming up about the possible 8th seed, if the Panthers are number one.
Right. Yeah.
What do you think? Are we dining on Mayo? Are we eating on Mayo's number on his check there?
If you ask these players, you know what? They'll tell you we haven't proven anything yet.
Oh, okay.
We like Jonathan Huberdeau,
He
who
said,
has said,
I'm sorry to hear that.
Sick of it.
We want cocky.
I'm sick of, Jonathan Huberdeau, especially, who has had just an unbelievable year and really stepped up and led the team and developed his two-way game. And you talk to him, he's like, you know what? I'm sick of losing. I'm sick of going home in the first round.
Yes.
I thought we were good enough last year to win it. Obviously, it was a tough series against Tampa. But so, I mean, these players have the mentality of, no, we're not exiting in the first round this season. We know how good we are, but I think they also have the sense of humility to understand that they still need to prove it, and Andrew Burnett says that all the time when we ask him about these regular season accomplishments and all these franchise records and he's like, yeah, it's great, but we still need to prove we can win in the playoffs. Like, that's the goal. So I love hearing that, because they understand the gravity of when the playoffs start. It's a completely different beast than the regular season. You look at Tampa a couple years ago when they blew everyone away in the regular season and they won the President's Trophy. Yeah. And what did they do? They got swept in the first round by Columbus.
Yeah.
So,
and Sergei Bobrovsky, yes. I mean, did the damage there.
Yeah.
There you go.
So it's phenomenal for Columbus in that series. So you just have to understand that. I feel like, especially, I mean, in any sport, right? The playoffs, once they start, it's so tough. It's completely different game. It's completely different beast. So I'm not trying to be doom and gloom. I absolutely believe in the Florida Panthers.
Yeah.
They are phenomenal. But I also, you look at the East and 9 of the top 11, 12 teams in the NHL are coming out of the East. And it's teams like the Rangers, and it's teams like Carolina and Tampa and Toronto and the Panthers and the Penguins and the Capitals. And, so I don't think any first round matchup in the East is easy. I don't think any first round matchup in the East is a breeze that you're just going to look at and be like, oh yeah, we got this, no problem. But I do believe 100% that the Panthers are built for massive success. I believe that especially the moves Bill Zito made at the trade deadline, acquiring Claude Giroux, who does so many things well, who wins huge face-offs down the stretch, who can play center and wing, who can be plugged in on any line, Ben Sherratt, Robert Haig to help boost the blue liners. I believe in Bill Zito. I believe in this team. I believe in these players. I believe in Andrew Burnett, and I believe that it's going to be a fun postseason for the Florida Panthers. I really do.
Yeah, so they're going to win. We know that. I mean, it's fine. You don't have to say it, but you said it.
Yeah, your message to Mayor bring more than your shell card to Anthony's Runway 84. Because you're going to be picking up a very hefty tab there, and that's going to be a lot of fun because we want to see like spaghetti sauce on this guy's face when we just
it's time. Let's go.
Who needs somebody we're raining on our parade here, which we haven't had it yet, obviously, but I just it's hard to imagine a team that played that well during the regular season, and it's been bell to bell, Jessica, which has been phenomenal, and they're on fire right now. So I mean, what are they, like 17, 2-1 in their last 20? That any streak at any time during a season like that, and you would be happy as a fan, even if they ended up 500, after performing like that, like we did with the Dolphins.
And, these games, like the game the other night, I was working the Marlins game, so I had the Panther game on a separate TV, didn't have the sound up because obviously I was focusing on baseball, but even watching a game, like a game against the Ducks, where it's a tight game, it's a 1-goal game pretty much the entire time. You really have to find a way to win that game. You're not blowing out an opponent. You're staying focused the entire time. And it's good to play games like that down the stretch heading into the playoffs, because the playoffs are not going to be these 7-4 finals, where you're just relying completely on offense and outscoring your opponent. You're going to have to be sharp defensively. You're going to have to find ways to win tight games, 1-goal games. So, to get some games like that down the stretch, I really think is a good thing for the Panthers, heading into the postseason.
Well, it'll be cheaper for us to lose because we won't be able to eat if the Panthers will be eating so much crow. Does that go well with Grey Poupon? You've tried a lot of strange things in your career as going on, and we respect that as much as anything. I mean, the brilliant knowledge that you have on both fronts there with the Panthers and Marlins. Great stuff, Jessica Blaylock. But what was that again? We were trying to figure it out. Was it chocolate-covered crickets?
Yes.
That you and Dave Van Horn were downing, as if it was caviar and a cracker at a polo match. Where was that, Seattle?
No, I wish they were covered in chocolate. That might have helped a little bit. They were chili lime grasshoppers.
Oh, Jesus.
Chili lime grasshoppers.
Oh, my God.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
What prompted you to do that? I mean, was that a producer's idea or your own?
Making good television, I guess. Seeing my genuine reaction to such a horrifying food. Yeah, but you know me. That's going to be one of the most fun things about getting back on the road this season for baseball is seeing what shenanigans Blaylock can get herself into.
Oh man, yeah, and there was that barbecue thing. I think they were playing the Royals or something. I don't know. They were some absurd-looking like burger type of configuration,
like
and I thought, how is Jessica Blaylock, this lovely young lady, chowing down on that, man? I mean,
who knows?
That was great.
Who knows these things? Yeah, nothing beats maybe going to trapeze school in D.C. right outside National Park. You remember that when I went to trapeze school?
Oh, you did trapeze?
Oh,
geez.
Yeah, no, that one I didn't see.
God,
I mean, maybe more appropriate for like Minervini. I mean, how did that go?
Say.
Were you like one of the flying Melendas out there?
I don't know. He'd probably still be stuck up there on the trapeze.
He would have wimped out. His hair would have got messed up.
He's no Blaylock.
All right, a lot of fun as always, Jessica. I mean, hope you'll do it again with us because it's always great having you on any show, any platform we're on, and we, are delighted to have you on today's show. Good luck with the Panthers the rest of the way. We hope to see you at Anthony's Runway 84 on Mayo's Dime, and always a pleasure. Thanks so much for joining us on the show.
Sounds good. Put me down for a chicken parmesan. I'll see you guys there.
That's my favorite. There you go. Have a good one.
That'd be great.
Once again, thank you to Jessica Blaylock of Bally Sports Florida, Panthers and Marlins coverage. She obviously isn't going to just assume the Panthers will win the first round, but you heard it. She's confident. The Cats are confident. And as I said, and I like the fact that they're confident, but they're not cocky, because it feels like what happened to the Lightning a few years ago when they set, I think, the record for points in a season where the President Trophy winner led the league in points, and then they got swept by Columbus, where they were so good, and they had won title before. They had been a winning franchise, unlike the Panthers. So it felt like they got a little cocky. Well, then they went on to win the next two titles. The Panthers haven't won. The Panthers have been amazing this year, but they haven't been just given anything. And the fact that this organization hasn't won for over 2 decades, it feels like they're not going to get cocky. They're going to be confident in their abilities, but not dumb enough to just assume they're going to win. And that makes me excited to see the Panthers in these playoffs. And the Miami Marlins, not a great start, but the pitching is there. And they have made moves. You have seen some of their young hitters wake up, sort of. I'm not expecting anything from them. I don't know what the heck to expect from this season. But with a rotation like that and depth in the rotation, you think they would get some bullpen help. They have talent in the lineup. I think you're going to see them improve as the season goes on. And it's nice to have them home for their opener today against those NL East rival Phillies. For Defo, I am Lubie. This is the Defo Show with Lubie right here on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Thank you, Jessica Blaylock, for joining us. Check out our exclusive content podcast, Believe.com. Search After Hours. Today we talked NBA with Sports Illustrated senior writer Howard Beck. And you can check us out each and every morning, 7 to 9. Tomorrow's Degenerate Friday. Just Google The Defo Show, DEFO. And tomorrow we'll be back right here again. The Defo Show that'll be on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. These days, we're all looking for comfort anywhere we can find it. Thank goodness for Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill in the Plantation location, because they are making sure you are as comfortable as possible. First of all, they're not only open for delivery and pickup. All you have to do is go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both pickup and free delivery. Their hours have changed a little bit. Monday through Thursday from 3:30 to 10, and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 11:30 to 10. You're going to have the best wings in the world. You're going to have a great burger. You're going to have their amazing soups. Again, Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill. It's nice and easy. Just go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both your pickup and free delivery. Thank goodness for Landlubbers for making you always feel right at home.
Hey folks, Tony Segreto here. You know, since day one, Catholic Health Services has been part of Old School. And since we've started letting people know about them, it's changed their lives. You see, Catholic Health Services, while being recognized as one of the top places for stroke rehab in the country, it's also about a group of people who not just excel in what they do, from the doctors to the nurses to the therapist, on and on and on. It's how they do what they do every single day that separates them from the pack. They do it with a passion, unmatched, and the inclusion of family in every step of the process. Trust me when I tell you this. If you want the best, unmatched rehab with a special group of skilled, caring people, there is truly only one place, and that one place is Catholic Health Services.